What's up, what's up, what's up? I'm back again, video 81. Let me see, I gotta think of a title for today's video. Today's video is called Moon Magic, I guess. 81. 81 is the number of squares in the magic square of the moon. 9 by 9 grid. 9 times 9 is 81. 8 plus 1 is 9. So I guess that's an appropriate title. So Moon Magic. I've been doing a moon magic ritual for the past, since the new moon. I don't know if anyone noticed that. So what is this all about? We can get into some pretty interesting facts about this thing. So when we're drawing the web of weird, it's three this way, 3 this way, 3 this way. Okay, so that's a total of 9 lines, creates the web of weird. But if you look at those intersections, the crossing points of those lines, it creates a hexagram star sideways. And that is comprised of 13 intersections of those lines, forming, a hexagram star. So, guess what? That's the connection between the sun and the moon, Odin and Frey, so on and so on. Okay? Sun and the moon, because there's 13 complete lunar cycles plus 1 day in a solar year. So interesting, right? So number 81, there's all kinds of fascinating stuff we can get into with that, but let's start with our favorite goddess, Sophia. Her number is 9. She's the 9th of the, so you go through the 7 archons of the planetary energies. Then you get to Christ, who transcends and escapes this bullshit prison that we're in. And where does he go? He goes back to Mama. He goes back to Sophia, the divine Sophia. There's the fallen Sophia on earth. She gets separated from the fullness of the galactic womb, which is our galactic center. And Christ comes out looking for her, or Orpheus. Here's some fascinating number stuff. I chose this name Orpheus Blato for my music alter ego way back, probably 1995, 96, long time ago. I chose that as my name. And I found out some fascinating shit about that. One day I decided to run the numbers on that name, and I found out something really fascinating. It has 13 letters, I'm pretty sure, and it totals 186, which gets double of one of our favorite numbers, double of 93. Love, will, agape, thelema. Pretty fascinating. 186. I could get into the numbers about 186, but that's going to take us off topic too much. But the point is, numbers are fucking magical. So let's talk about 81. 9, heavenly Sophia. 9, earthly Sophia. 9 is the serpent of the numbers. If you look at it, it's like a little serpent with a tail, right? So, yeah, and also if you look on the Tree of Life, gotta look into the Tree of Life. Everything, all wizarding. Here's some really trippy stuff. If you want to know all the secrets of wizarding, guess where it is? The Bible. The Bible has everything. Even Crowley said this. I wish I could remember his exact quote. So this is someone who's supposedly the wickedest man in the world and stuff like that. Famous black magician and Satanist and sex freak and drug abuser and everything. Well, he loved the Bible. He had that shit fucking memorized. And you know what he said? He said it's a repository of the most ancient magic rites and rituals in the world. And he was 100% accurate. The Bible contains everything, but you have to read it, okay? You have to understand it. You have to read the Greek and the Hebrew to get what's in there, because it is a math code. And like John Dee and all these fools tried really hard to make the King James Bible, and they put a ton of work into all that, but it's just no compare. There's the Masons, that's what the Masons use. That's the Masonic Bible, okay? And it's got secret shit in there, for sure. But it's no comparison to what the original is. And everyone knows that. And that's why American Christians are all paying Joel Osteen and fucking Jimmy Swaggart, these frauds and con men, And the Masonic, Assembly of God and all this stuff, like, it's all a Masonic butt sex front. People have no idea what the ties between the organized crime, the so-called fake Christians in America, Masonic front, like every kind of drug traffic, like it's the opposite, everything opposite. Babylon confusion. What's Babylon? It's basically the switcheroo. It's where you switch two opposite things, and people think that the black stone is the white stone. They're all mixed up. They're confused. They're in babble. They're babbling. Their words don't make sense. And all their pronouncements and all the logical propositions that they try to formulate with their words are all backwards, and they don't make sense because they're confused. So we're trying to fix that. We're doing a moon ritual to fix that. And we're trying to understand the heavenly Sophia versus the earthly Sophia and how they're connected through the circuit, right? The circuit above and below. And that starts with moon magic, elevating the seed, right? Elevating the egg and the seed to get married up here, okay? And this is in every tradition. But let's look at another word that sums to 81 in Greek. It's Cain, Kappa, Alpha, Iota, Nu. Cain, K-A-I-N. Cain, the fallen one. Cannabis, right? Canine, the dog, right? Cain, he abandons Abel and God up here, and he goes and he's sniffing the ground, and he's sniffing butts. He's sniffing the butthole, That's Cain. That's why you don't want to be like that. You don't want to be the fallen one. But Cain, okay, the whole process of the Bible and Christ and redemption is the redemption of Cain. It's redeeming all the fallen ones, males and females. Christ comes down to earth to find Sophia. She was the creator goddess of everything. Everything in the whole universe is built out of her. That we know in our world, the fallen world that we live in, is all built out of Sophia and her template and her 9 numbers. Okay? But she's got amnesia. She forgot her divine status. She forgot the purpose of all creation. And she's in here fornicating as a prostitute, which is sad. Not that sex is bad, okay? Not that, sex outside of the marital union is evil and stuff like that. A lot of people enjoy it. But I tell you honestly, and you can believe me or not, if you're in fornication, you're going to be miserable, okay? You might think you're happy for a little minute, Time goes by, you start to hit 30, 40, 50, you're going to be really fucking sad. And you're not going to have any strong bonds. You're not going to have a family. You're not going to have community. You're going to be deeply sad. And you're going to be a dog mom or a cat lady. And you're going to have these surrogate babies. Because there's something so deep and profound in our psyche that requires this family unit and connection. You can try all the drugs, you can change your fucking surgery and chop your dick off, or like you can, try to be a man or switch genders and all this stuff. It's mental illness. You're gonna be super fucking sad, and you're gonna be probably on drugs, to cover that sadness. And so many people, like Valentine's Day yesterday, oh my God, it was so sad and heart-wrenching for me to watch people yesterday. And it's the same thing every year, I realize. Because I love love, and I love romance and all that stuff. And it's the world to me. It's so important. But like, everyone's backwards. They're all completely backwards, and they're all segregated. Like yesterday I walked around, and it was all a bunch of girls. Like you would see girls would get all dolled up, and they all got their red clothes on, and they're dolled up, and they're being beautiful as they can, Most of them are physically unhealthy, and they're not sexy and attractive because their physicality's all fucked up. They're eating terrible food. They're not physically active, a lot of them. And so they're not magnetizing a mate. They're not magnetizing a strong, powerful man because they are not strong and powerful themselves. And same for men. But my point is, I saw all the women out segregated in these little gaggles of females, and they're all walking around together. And they're trying super hard to be pretty, and they're buying products, and they're putting all this shit on themselves. because they feel innately that they have no inner heart and soul. You know, they have nothing to give. That's how they feel. So they have to cover themselves in all this shit, and they have to play pretend and do all this stuff because they don't believe in themselves. They don't realize and believe that what's in their heart, their passion, their joy, their music, their beauty, their song, their loving voice that comes out is what is beautiful and creates life. Like, they don't believe in that. They don't have faith in that, so they're buying products, okay? So that's fallen logic. That's Cain and fallen Sophia life, you know? So what is Cain? Let's talk about that, because that's key to this redemption circuit that we're trying to get into. So first of all, let's talk about how when Christ gets crucified on the cross of matter in the material world, right? He goes down to hell before he ascends to heaven, because he's rescuing Cain, and he's rescuing Sophia, and he's rescuing the fallen souls, and he's giving them the ministry, right? He's teaching them how to redeem the fallen sexuality into procreation and wisdom up here, okay? So let's look at these two nines. If you look at the tree of life, like I said, it has all the secrets of wizarding and power, light, you know, eternal life, you know, perfect wisdom and everything. And it's numbers, like I'm saying. So, like I said, on the tree of life, you got the Sephira, the 10 Sephira, and the 22 paths, okay? So within that, there's two Tets, right? There's the big Tet, the Sephira Tet, which is Yesod, the foundation stone, Cain, and the semen, right? And the eggs of the female. That's Tet, the serpent, right? But there's another Tet, and that one's right here. Where, so, if you got Chesed and Geburah, right? You got the two shoulders, and if you go right in between where the neck joins to the back at the 7th cervical vertebrae, or what is it? Yeah, that's right. So in the neck, right, the 7th one down, that's where the shoulders and neck meet. And in Egypt, that was called, that's where the Ka, the spirit, enters to the body and exits the body at death, right? It's the body and soul. And that's a Dimmock point in martial arts. Like, if you hit someone right there, they could die if you know how to do it, right? So that's where you sever the body and the soul. And there's Egyptian hieroglyphs that show all that as well. And so that's Da'at, right? That's the union of male and female. It's the union of the left and right pillar, okay, above, right, above. So that's also represented by Tet, and that's represented by the strength card in the tarot, right? So this is all deeply profound. So these two serpents, right? The serpent of the womb and the serpent of speech. So how the male and female unite in these two different ways, right? And this circuits, it's like a 9 above and a 9 below, right? So it's about connecting them. So in martial arts, in the Taoism, Taoist internal alchemy and acupuncture, we have the 3 vessels, you know, just like the 3 pillars of the tree of life. You know, there's Renmai, that's the conception vessel. That's where it comes down through the front, right? That's where, okay, so when Christ dies on the cross, he's coming down like this. He's going down to the reproductive organs and to the base of the spine, right? Coming down to redeem Cain. He has to go down into hell, and down into earth, down to find the fallen Sophia, right? So that's Renmai. That's called the conception vessel, right? So that's bringing energy down from the crown into the womb to conceive life, you know? And so then you got Dumai, that goes up the back. That's the spine. And that's ascending vessel is in the back, and the descending vessel is in the front. And this is called the microcosmic orbit. But the purpose of these 2 vessels, just like the 2 outer pillars on the tree of life, is to fuse together as one in the central channel, Zhongmai, the great thoroughfare, and it's to go up the center to create wisdom, eternal life, prophecy, and so forth. And so this is what the tree of life is all about. This is what wizarding is all about. This is what moon magic is all about. Taking the earthly Sophia, taking Cain and turning him into Christ. Taking the earthly Sophia and turning her into the heavenly Sophia. Taking the serpent in the Garden of Eden and turning it to the serpent of the galactic plane in the sky. Okay, they're connected. These 2 waters above and below are connected by our willpower our sacred space and our reproductive force. And that's the secret of all wizardry right there.